Now I want you to feel the difference when I put my body behind the kick. When I count to 3, exhale. Strong. I'll be kicking you.
Now, what is this thing you do?
In Cantonese, Jeet Kune Do, the way of the intercepting fist.
Bruce Lee was born in San Francisco on the 27th of November 1940, the year of the dragon. This combination of Eastern heritage and the influence of the West remained with Lee throughout his life and would lead to a revolution in the martial arts and action filmmaking. Kung Fu originated from the Shaolin Temple in about 600 AD. From that time, it developed into a wide variety of martial arts systems governed by clans, families, and rules of tradition. Hong Kong in the 1950s was a melting pot for these Kung Fu systems, as many mainland Chinese found their way to the island colony to escape war, famines, floods, and the communist push. It was in this environment that a young Bruce Lee first developed his love of the martial arts, and also where he first experienced racial prejudice, when he found many Kung Fu teachers would not pass their knowledge on to him, as he was not a full-blood Chinese.
What Bruce did is relayed to me that he could never learn from the top man, because in those days, Kung Fu practitioners were quite prejudiced, and they didn't usually share the knowledge with other people from other styles. So what Bruce did, he knew that, so what he did would go to the second or the third or fourth man in the system and say, well, look at how would you like to learn Wing Chun? And I'll trade you my Wing Chun knowledge for your praying mantis. Let's say it's northern praying mantis. And that's what he did, because he knew that the head instructor wouldn't teach him.
Studying these different martial arts exposed Lee to the idea that all martial arts had something to offer, that no one system had all the answers. He moved a step further from tradition when he studied Western boxing at La Salle College and picked up European fencing from his elder brother Peter, a Commonwealth fencing champion. With this amalgam of martial arts knowledge, Bruce traveled to the United States in 1958.
I met Bruce Lee in 1959. He had landed in San Francisco where he was born, and ultimately through Ruby Chow, who sponsored him up here. He came up here, and actually I met him through some of the former friends that had been working out with Bruce.
The effects of the prejudice shown to him in Hong Kong were still with Bruce when he decided to break the centuries-old taboo and teach Kung Fu to non-Chinese at his Seattle class. This film is the only record of Bruce Lee's teaching at that time.
There was some animosity against him teaching to outsiders because they felt that to teach the outsiders, it was a situation where you were giving a lot of secrets away to people that were physically much bigger than we are, and that they would be using it against us.
Now, relate to me. Move, move. No. Don't move for the sake of moving. Relate to me. Relationship. You're well, adjust. Open it up a little bit. Feel the wind blowing. The bird. You hear the bird chirping?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Very good. Now, let it flow. Open it up. Kick with it. Yes! Now, how did it feel to you?
Like, I didn't kick, it kicked.
Terrific. Now, once more.
I liken Bruce Lee to Jimi Hendrix. There was guitar playing before Jimi Hendrix and guitar playing after Jimi Hendrix. It was complete, the world changed for guitar players. And the same thing with Bruce Lee. There was martial arts before Bruce Lee and there's martial arts after Bruce Lee.
You think a fight is one blow, one kick? until you can put combinations together without even thinking. Until you have to keep moving and to endure, hire a bodyguard or lead a less aggressive life. Don't charge in blindly. You got to listen. Listen.
The film success that awaited Bruce Lee was still a long way off in 1964, when he started to write for the world's #1 martial arts magazine, Black Belt.
The owner of the company had seen him at a tournament and just saw his talent right off, and they struck up a relationship, and he liked Bruce's ideas and where Bruce was headed with martial arts, and throwing out the stuff that didn't work in self-defense and street self-defense and so forth. And Bruce seemed to really have zeroed in on this to bring something new to the martial arts.
One day, early in the spring, Bruce came to me and said that he'd had a call from 20th Century Fox that they wanted him to come down and interview for possibly the position of Kato. So he said, "What do you think?" And I said, "Well, God, Bruce," I said, "you got to go down." And so he went down there, and of course, the rest is history.
The Green Hornet lasted for only one season, but other parts followed, and Lee was convinced that his martial arts could lead to bigger things.
At one time, he was given the offer to open up a chain of Kato schools around the United States, and he said no, that he didn't feel that's where it was at. And he says, "I can expose my ideas, my philosophies through film," because he felt that film was the best medium in which to educate the public.
Using his home video camera, Lee recorded the staging of fight scenes to help him further develop his film craft. This rare footage shows Lee practicing with his friend and student, James Coburn.
We trained a lot. I had a large patio outside when I was living on Tower Road. I had a big old Spanish place. It was kind of a patio. We trained out there. He brought a big bag, a tackle bag, and so we had it hanging up out there, using it for side kicks. Saying, "Okay, now this is the way you do it." You know, so again, whoop, bang, and he kicked this bag. I guess it was about a 150-pound bag, and it went flying out busted it in the middle. It went flying out into the lawn. It was filled with rags, and we were picking up rags for months around there, little bits and pieces of rags. It was all over the lawn. And that was really an astounding, and it shocked him as much as it. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Lee also collaborated with another student, Academy Award-winning scriptwriter Sterling Silliphant, on the script for the second episode of Longstreet. This program remains Lee's single most relevant cinematic work on his martial art, Jeet Kune Do.
What is this thing you do?
In Cantonese, Jeet Kune Do, the way of the intercepting fist.
Intercepting fist, huh?
Or foot. Come on, touch me. Any way you can. You see? To reach me, you must move to me. Your attack offers me an opportunity to intercept you. In this case, I'm using my longest weapon, my sidekick, against the nearest target, your kneecap. It can be compared to your left jab in boxing, except it's much more damaging.
I see. Well, speaking of a left jab...
Oh, this time I intercept your emotional tenseness. You see, from your thought to your fist, how much time was lost.
Not much.
In terms of film, the distance from taking a swing and selling it to the camera, you could be, pretty far away, but sometimes it gets very close. I do remember the fact that the cameraman saying, "Oh, fellas, hey, we have to slow this down. I know it'll look terrific on camera, but when we come in close, we have to really slow it down, otherwise it'll never sell. Nobody will see anything."
Sterling was very much interested in the martial arts at that time and was taking lessons from Bruce, and suggested that we use him as a recurring character, and wrote the pilot script of the series, which followed the concept of the movie quite closely, to introduce and set up the situation and the relationship between the Franciscus character and Bruce.
Where am I?